Welcome to Security Weekly. I'm your host, Matt Alderman. We are here at DEF CON 27, recording live from the Social Engineer Village. Joining me for this interview is Jayson Street.
How's it going?
Good. How are you? How
Pretty
you
good.
feeling? I heard you had a little buzz.
Yeah, I had a run-in with a bacon cheeseburger that won, so
Got it.
and it won thoroughly. So I'm just trying to deal with that.
Right. So for anybody that's out there, no pickup hugs today. Just
Yeah,
little
just
hugs.
just a little low impact hugs.
Got it. Okay. I want to talk badges for a second. 'Cause
Okay.
It's interesting, right? A lot of people were coming up to me. I took mine off for this shoot, but mine's purple. I think
Right.
that's because
That's
I'm a
the
vendor,
vendor, right.
And so you've got a lot of people with the white ones walking around,
Right.
wanting to get the purple. You've got, that's a blue/greenish one.
Yeah, that's the blue
That's-
speaker badge.
Okay.
The purple vendor, the red goon,
Goon.
and then this is like one of the special magic token ones that Joe Grand gave me. So.
Got it. And obviously you have to connect with a number of people and it moves you through different levels. Is there a rhyme or reason behind any of that?
I think one of the biggest goals of it is for interaction.
Right.
It's like, I mean, one of the key things at DEF CON is people see a sea of people and they don't see a sea of possible connections of people
Yeah,
that have the same interest that they're
Yeah.
interested in. I mean, that's what it's about. We all want to stay in our shells, and how do you draw people out that
Right.
way? So there's always been throughout. I've been coming to DEF CON for 15 years, and it's like, and quite a lot of them, especially recent in the last 5 years or so, the theme has been connecting with
Mm-hmm.
others. It's like trying to communicate. They've done it through puzzles where you need to like actually look at other
Right.
people's badges
Yep.
for puzzles. It's like, and then electronically you have to transfer data. So I think that's one of the key things is the community is a connection of people that you may not be, outside your bubble of comfortableness. It's
Yeah.
like where you can go and reach and talk to them. And while you're bumping badges, it's like actually say hello.
Hey,
Actually
hi.
say, what are
Right.
you doing here in the wireless village? Why are
Yeah.
you doing in the hardware hacking village or the social engineering
Right.
village? Why are you here? It's like, what are you hoping to learn? And that's what they're trying to spark.
Yeah, I think you're right, especially as we think about the new generation of people coming into the security industry, right? Like my daughter, they do a lot on their phones,
Right.
but they don't do the human interaction
Exactly,
sometimes,
yeah.
right? So if you go walk the hallways, I was over at Flamingo yesterday. We did a couple interviews over at Blue Team Village. Oh, a lot of people sitting in the hall, but they're not interacting. They're kind of on
Right.
their phones, right? So the badges is a way for hopefully people to
exactly.
connect. Let's tie that into social engineering a bit, because if we think about that interaction actually can help us improve some of our social engineering skills as well,
exactly.
instead of just always relying on our technology.
Right. Yeah, I tell people it's like I got into social engineering so I wouldn't have to be technical for a living. It's like it's about hacking the human. It's about just walking in and using social interaction, looking at social cues to actually be successful in what you're trying to compromise.
So as a red teamer, you don't have to worry about all the pen testing tools. You're honing your people skills and using those to actually do some very interesting things.
Yeah, I don't classify myself as a red teamer. It's like I'm like a one-off because red teamers, they have all kinds of tools. They have lock picks.
Right.
They have all these other.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's all fine and good. It's like, but I come in and I literally YOLO it. It's like I'm there. I tell my clients I give them only 2 hours of recon. It's like I won't do more than 2 hours, and I start with Google. I don't use Montego. I don't use like all these other really cool OSINT tools. That some of them that I teach at
Right.
Black Hat, I don't use those. And when I come in, it's like I'm usually using a fake badge and a uniform, and have like a rubber ducky, or I have like a bash bunny, or one of the really cool Hack 5 tools to go out and actually attack. Because I want them to understand, red teamers, like when you get that report, you're like, oh, look how elite they did. Look how ninja skills they had. We don't have to worry about that because we're not going to usually face those kind of people.
Right.
And I want them to say, but are you prepared for the guy who just walked off the street and in 2 minutes and 22 seconds had full control over your bank, which I've done before.
Wow.
And I was wearing a leather DEF CON jacket and red Thundercat tennis shoes at the time. And I had full control, and the video camera timestamp was from when I walked in to having full control was 2 minutes and 22 seconds.
Wow.
That wasn't skill. That was just acting like I'm supposed to be there.
Right, exactly. And I think that's really interesting for people to understand. We put so much emphasis into the penetration tests and making sure our systems are hardened, but then somebody like you walks in and in 2 minutes has control of a facility.
Exactly.
And there wasn't a single tool in what you did outside of Google, which everybody has access
Exactly,
to.
and it's all about, and that's why I call myself not a red team. I do security awareness engagements. It's like because I'm trying to train the human. Once I finish compromising place, I'll leave for 2 minutes, and then I come back and I talk to every single person that I compromised, and I explain to them right then and there, this is what happened. I was a bad guy. You didn't feel confident to question me,
Right. To
and this is
challenge
what
me.
happened.
Yeah.
And so it's about empowering your employees. It's about educating your employees, and then enforcing the policies that you've already put in place. If you can do those 3 E's, it's like you're going to have a much better workforce and a more secure environment. But we're not empowering our employees to actually do any critical thinking, do any thinking about what's going on around them. It's
Right.
like they're not stupid. They know what they're doing. When you say stupid clicker, stupid user clicked on a link, stupid user went to a website, that's stupid information security that didn't properly train their users. It's like they will do what's necessary for them to keep their jobs.
Yeah.
If you're not telling them that security is part of it, don't blame them.
Yeah, they're not going to do it.
Right.
And we are curious as humans to click on the link or check things out. And sometimes we don't think necessarily that it potentially is malicious, even though in a lot of cases it is, but it comes down to training.
Right.
And are you seeing improvements in training from a security awareness perspective? Paul and I have talked about this on a few shows. You know, are we getting better at training our employees and giving them that sense of awareness? Now, we know at the executive level in some cases with the press and the coverage we've seen with breaches and stuff, at the higher levels, I think the answer is yes. Do you see it improving below that level?
I think slowly but surely it is. I mean, I actually one of the classes I teach is a teach to teacher kind of class, how to create a security awareness program within your organization, where IT security administrators and IT people and security professionals come in to learn how to create a security awareness program inside internally, and by the way we're getting people in, it seems to be effective. It's like they're actually actively looking at that. It's like it's not sexy. It's not about like hacking all this stuff, but they're like, this is required. This is something that's necessary. And so their companies are investing money to have them come and learn those things. So I think it's getting better, but it just like when back in the 90s, it's like, when everything was just wide open. It was really bad until Microsoft started saying, hey, we're going to take security more seriously.
Right.
And then there was that gap that you had to fill. It's like, so we've got a gap that we've got to fill. It's been there that way the whole time.
It's been there
like,
since day one.
I mean, it's older than MSO 867, which is still effective, and that's old.
Yeah.
So we have to just do that. We have to make it where we're filling that gap up quickly.
Now, if I'm an organization and I haven't made investments from a security awareness and training for my employees, where should they start? Can you provide some recommendations on where should they go? What should they look at? Who should they talk to?
Yeah. The first thing they need to do is new hire training. They need to look at who their new hires are. It's like, and start incorporating security, a security class, a security section in that new hire training.
Got it.
Let them know right off the bat, this is how it's supposed to be done. Embolden them to talk to their other coworkers who have been here and may not have realized that was it. So those are your agents of change. It's like those are your advocates for security.
So by training the new hires, they actually help cross-train existing employees.
Exactly.
Because you're infusing the importance of security in the new hire training. You're hoping that they're going to infuse that to the rest of the employee base.
Right. When they walk by and they see a user who has a password on their monitor, they'll say, hey, I learned that in security. It's like in security class, you weren't supposed to do that.
Got it.
So they'll be those advocates for you.
Oh, that's great. Any other resources for people to take a look at that might be interesting for people to kind of research on their own?
I think, it's not even a plug, but it sounds like it, but the social-engineering.org website, Chris Hagnagis has a lot of good books on it as well. There's a lot of resources out there if you could look. And then I do security awareness training individually to companies as well.
That's great. Jayson, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for watching. We'll be back soon.